Alright, let's get one more part done, and then I think I'll call it a night. Library. That looks to be the redhead, right? Kinda.
It's an illustrated book about birds.
It's been left open. Looks like somebody was halfway through reading it.
Or it was left open for us to find.
Ever so slightly unnerving.
Bird book. The ink dip is a remarkably intelligent bird with a very long lifespan, even among avian mystids. Other birds are often aggressive towards it, and the ink dip lives most of its life alone. It has particular feeding habits and usually only eats the seeds of the Tantamamica pictured.
Books about ancient history, I think?
These books are ancient history. I think they'd crumble into dust if I tried to pick them up.
Good excuse.
Thanks.
Books about...
These books, I think they'd
good
crumble.
excuse.
Books about geography.
Skip. Books about insects.
Well, theoretically. There's not a single book on that shelf.
Huh. A book on the floor. Fundamental entomology.
I guess somebody dropped it. It's musty in here.
What exactly does that mean? What is must?
Must. You ask such stupid questions.
Ah!
Nice.
Books about space.
They're relatively untouched.
It's musty in here.
What exactly?
You ask such...
Nice. Sure. Why not build a science lab in the corner of the library?
The search for new knowledge. The archiving of old knowledge. It's downright poetic. It's musty.
What exactly?
You ask such...
Nice. Books about birds.
The shelves are about half empty.
Oh, so you're a the shelves are half empty kind of person.
You knew this already.
Books about nature? A chalkboard.
Is this a library or a classroom?
Any idea what this means?
Not a clue.
Any idea what this means?
Not a clue.
Math equations.
Don't look at them for too long. You'll give yourself a headache.
Stupid question, but any math people out there tell me what here is real / correct and what is just gibberish? This kind of looks like the Phyrexian symbol almost.
I'm not sure I learned anything from that.
Curious. I would expect bacteria of that nature to thrive in these conditions.
Excuse me.
Taking all the environmental factors into account, there must be something I am still missing.
May I talk to you, miss?
She knows we're here. She just doesn't care.
I am a detective, and I need to talk.
Correction. You do not need to talk to me.
Oh no? How come?
Because I am not a suspect. I am completely innocent of any and all crimes.
Thanks for letting me know.
Speaking of which, you have now been at Tangle Tower for over 23 minutes. Surely you have already reached a sturdy hypothesis.
A hypothesis? About the murder?
Yeah, come on, Grimoire, hurry up.
My apologies. Unfortunately, protocol dictates I must at least meet all the suspects. And that includes you. So, could you tell me your name?
Fifi Fellow, microbiologist, inventor, innovator. You will need to be more specific. Oneself cannot be summarized in a single response without doing one a great disservice.
So true.
Well, first of all, you're a fellow. So does that make you the daughter of...
Correct. My father and mother are named Flora and Felix, but you need not question either of them. It will only waste valuable time. Neither of them are capable of murder.
Thanks for the tip.
Fifi, you said you were a micro... something or other?
Microbiologist, but it is an insignificant label. My studies cannot be categorized in any one recognized field.
What made you want to become a scientist in the first place?
I harbor an intrinsic fascination with the microscopic. I constructed my first one at age 10.
Constructed a microscope?
Correct.
And what's that thing on your head? Did you make that too?
My eyesight began to deteriorate when I turned 12. Not satisfied with the eyeglasses prescribed to me, I designed this custom lens instead. It automatically adjusts based on the surrounding light conditions.
Does it glow red when you get angry?
No, but that would be most amusing. What can you tell me about the murder?
What can you tell me about... Wait, that's what I'm supposed to ask you.
Yes, however, you were too slow.
You fancy yourself a detective too, Fifi.
I just need to know what happened.
Me too. So talk.
Fine. I knew ahead of time that Freya was going to be busy with her painting all day, so I had planned to spend the afternoon with Poppy. I was in the library all morning preparing the equipment for an experiment, only to find out that Poppy had made other plans and she was in fact planning to ignore me completely.
Oh.
So what did you do instead?
I locked myself in my room and cried.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Why?
I don't know, it just sounds kind of sad.
It is not unusual.
Oh.
Oh. Oh.
Good.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I was in my room. The lights were off and the door was locked. Someone began banging on the door. I ignored it until the someone began shouting at me. I opened the door. Poppy came into my room. Her makeup was leaking. She told me Freya was dead. I did not believe it. I thought she was playing a trick on me, so I punched her in the face. She insisted that we go up to Flora's tower. We left the room, and Poppy's father was waiting outside. He followed us upstairs. When I saw Freya lying on the floor, I was completely and utterly devastated. Then, I took a sample of the red paint on the unfinished painting. Poppy and I took the sample back downstairs to the library. We performed a test and found out that it was, in fact, blood.
You performed that scientific test immediately, even though you were feeling so upset?
Of course. Why would one affect the other?
You're an odd one, but so is everyone else in this family so far.
Name, Flora Fellow. Age, 44. Profession, unknown. Likes, unknown. Dislikes, unknown.
Isn't she your mother? How do you not know anything?
I believe other people may have discovered methods of reaching her, but I have little capacity for interpreting nonverbal communication.
And how long has Flora been... non-verbal?
She has always been quiet, willing to speak when necessary, but not more.
Okay, so she's
So
not
what
a mute.
happened to make her stop talking entirely?
She suffered a great loss, something she has been unable to move beyond.
Suffer loss of heartbreak. I'm actually now kind of want to look up if that's a legitimate thing, because a lot of games and stories use that, where someone suffers a great loss, as they put it, or heartbreak of some kind, and they just suddenly become mute of sorts. So I'm kind of wondering if that's a legitimate thing, or if that's just a very popular...
Name, Felix Fellow. Age, 53. Profession, none. Likes, collecting objects of negligible monetary value and assigning them personal value. Dislikes, the inescapable realities of human existence.
Woof.
Notes, Felix is my father and legal guardian.
And, is he a good dad?
I have no point of comparison, but I would say no.
No? Why not?
You asked me a binary question. Do not get upset that I provided one of the two possible answers.
What makes him a bad father, Fifi?
He has trouble expressing his emotions, and something of a willful detachment from reality.
Huh. Just like you, then.
Grimoire.
No, he is quite correct. Name, Fiona Fellow. Age, 19. Profession,
Wow, I thought you were much
amateur
younger.
microbiologist. Likes, the meaningful archiving of information. Dislikes, the superfluous window dressing accompanying the majority of human contact. Notes, kindly disregard the polysyllabic form of my given forename and refer to me instead as Fifi.
How come you prefer Fifi?
How come you prefer Grimoire?
How are you related to the other fellows?
Fitz is my cousin. His father, a man named Flint, was my uncle.
Was?
I do not know if Flint is alive or not. He left Tangle Tower a long time ago.
And what about Freya? How are you related to her?
We share exactly one grandparent. Name, Freya Fellow. Age, 19. Profession? Artist. Deceased. Understand this. Most people find me difficult. They exhibit a noticeable degree of discomfort when talking to me.
Like
There it is.
Grimoire.
Freya, who had a way of being an exception to any given rule, was not at all like this. She is very important, and I will not rest until I understand what has happened to her.
Did you spend a lot of time with Freya recently?
I will say this. In the past year, Freya became 1. Increasingly independent, and 2. Increasingly isolated.
Do you know why?
I do not. If you are looking for a speculative, empathetic opinion, try asking Poppy instead.
The three of you are friends.
We are of a similar age, and all highly gifted. 1 scientist, 1 artist, and 1 musician.
Sounds like quite a team.
And oh my god, I'm gonna be asking so many different questions for these items.
What is your opinion of Tangle Tower?
Oh, it's impressive. Elaborate gardens, unique architecture.
Must be worth a fortune.
Why do you ask, Fifi?
I am the heir of the Fellow family and the Remington family. This makes me the sole beneficiary of Tangle Tower.
That's quite an inheritance.
They can't make you do anything, Fifi. If you don't want the house, just tell them. Or just sell it. Who cares?
You sound like her. I require facts. What do you know?
Well, we know Freya was stabbed with a knife, and then she fell—
Correction. She was stabbed with something. There was no knife found at the crime scene.
Apart from the one in the painting.
Which, as a mere abstract representation, does not count. Nobody has ever been stabbed by the concept of a knife.
Trying to think of any media I've had that have been stabbed, but
This belongs to Poppy. In fact, she owns a number of cassette tapes.
What happened to it, though?
It has been left underwater for an extended period of time.
Right. But why?
I do not know why. The statue itself does not interest me, but I do wish to know about those symbols on the harp. Have you deciphered their meaning yet?
We're working on it.
We are.
Curious. Freya is normally highly skilled at capturing someone's likeness, but in this painting, she has accidentally made Flora look quite young.
I think she was just being kind.
Why is that kind? Anyway, I'm far more interested in what Flora is holding. I performed the test on the red paint myself. I discovered that it was in fact not paint, but blood.
What made you want to test it in the first place?
It was Poppy. She told me she thought the painting looked like a bloody knife. I told her not to be ridiculous. My mother owns no such knife. But then I noticed that the color was slightly too dark, and the substance itself was overly viscous.
You noticed that just from looking at it once?
Of course. The red paint on the brush is not paint. It is blood.
oh,
Same for the palette.
So Freya added the blood to the painting herself?
Or blood got on the brush and palette some other way?
would
Do not know the answer.
the blood have been added after the murder already occurred?
The gramophone belongs to Poppy, but I believe she gave it to my mother, and my mother often loaned it to Freya. Or maybe it is the other way around.
When did it get cracked?
I cannot pinpoint it exactly. All I know is that it must have happened sometime in the last 2 days.
Interesting.
Is she laughing?
That belongs to my mother. I think she must be fond of eggs. There are a number of egg-shaped carvings to be found in the garden and in the Grand Hall.
Yeah, what's the deal with all the eggs?
Some people just like eggs.
Okay.
Fifi, did you test the red paint in this pot?
Yes, I did. I discovered it too was blood, not paint.
A whole pot full of blood?
Not a whole pot. It is only partially full.
Yeah, but still. Doesn't that freak you out?
No. In fact, it may be considered rather reassuring.
Oh, because maybe it's not actually, Freya's blood. Interesting. Why did she have an entire...
It is a model of Freya. made by my father.
A model of Flora, you mean?
And a man with a beard. And a little red and white creature.
Why would my father make a model of Freya? A wooden carving of my father, made by my father. Although, now that I look at it, I do not understand how he was able to paint the red parts without any red paint.
I noticed. Wow, how did I not notice that? Wait, the painted model's it's right next to the painted model, though.
I believe Freya was attempting to communicate something through this painting.
Any idea what it was?
I am not the person to ask. All I see is a blood-red mountain with angry storm clouds brewing above it. As such, I cannot ascertain any meaning from it whatsoever. There is a drawing of me, a drawing of Detective Hawkshaw, and a drawing of Poppy and Fitz.
You seem surprised by that.
This photograph is my favorite photograph.
So, why'd you rip it in half?
That was not me. Besides, it was not a half that was ripped off.
It's like a quarter
only
or
a
a third.
third.
Yeah. I don't know why I said a quarter. She corrected me on it anyway.
Do you know who was reading this book?
It belongs to my mother.
And she left it in the library?
No, my mother has not been in the library for some time.
But someone else was reading it.
Fifi's bedroom should be unlocked now.
Can't wait.
Yeah, I think we investigated all of this room so far.
There's something about Felix's painting supplies. Something suspicious.
Let's ask him about it.
It's a magnifying glass. A big one.
How come you don't have one of those?
Why? Because I'm a detective? Should I start smoking a pipe too?
You can pull off a pipe.
You seem
What's
so
that
hard.
big book on the desk?
Seems so disheartened about that comment.
Looks like something Fifi's been writing.
Is it a clue?
I hope not. It's just a bunch of notes about her microbiology experiments.
What, soda?
I don't know what that drink is, but I bet it's 99% sugar.
I'd read you the ingredients, but there's nothing written on the can.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
What's that big book on the desk?
Looks like something Fifi.
help?
It's just a bunch of notes about her.
What's that big book on the
Looks
desk?
like it's
was-
just a bunch of notes about
What
her.
about the chips?
What's that big book?
Looks like
help?
it's just a bunch of notes
Helping.
about her micro.
It's a magnifying
How
glass.
come
Why? Should I
you
start?
can...
Wait a minute, I just noticed the chandeliers.
Crystal chandeliers. Extra fancy.
I don't know. They just seem old-fashioned to me.
They seem very out of place.
Plus, they're kind of dusty.
That seems very out of place in this room.
Crystal chandeliers.
I don't know. Plus, they're kind of dusty.
Fifi's got something pinned up here.
What is all this?
What?
Who's that?
Not sure. Who is that?
No idea. That's gotta be Flora.
35?
Is Fifi trying to solve the mystery with math equations?
Maybe. Did you ever try that? Maybe it works. Who is that?
No idea. Is that supposed to be me? Why do I look so angry?
That's just the face you make when you're thinking. Does make you wonder, though. When did Fifi draw all this?
Wait, yeah, that's a good point. We literally just met her.
I think that's supposed to be Felix.
Who is that?
No idea. That's you, Sally.
What? I do not look like that, do I?
No response.
Is
Maybe. Did you ever try that?
Did you notice who?
Freya?
Mm-hmm. And Fifi herself. A new suspect. Don't think you can get out being questioned just because you're a bear.
Grimmer, are you okay?
I'm innocent, I promise!
Save it for the judge.
These two are so cute. I love both of them.
It looks like a microscope. A big one.
Must be the one she built.
Can I touch it?
Oh god, what?
I'm not sure this is a microscope.
Oh. What? What am I even... What am I supposed to be doing? I have no clue. Okay, so my biggest problem is like, what am I supposed to be looking at with these puzzles half the time?
I guess that's
The
wrong.
4 lenses all have different magnification strengths, so they must each have a specific position along the rail.
Nope.
Looks like you might need to overlap some of the lenses too.
Nothing.
You want to close up all the gaps on the spine of the key. Start by finding the parts that are too small or vice versa.
Okay, I figured that. I just wanted to make sure.
Nothing.
You want to start by finding the parts that are too small or vice versa.
Yeah, this is certainly something. What the hell? I don't even know where to begin on this one. Oh, I'm stupid. Okay. I noticed the thing on the bottom. Okay. Progress. Alright, I'm stuck on this one here. Maybe I don't want to use that one yet. Ugh. I see what I have to make now, but man, how do I make it? I just feel like I'm right in this so far. I don't even remember how I got the first one. Oh god, how did I even get the first one? I don't even remember. It was just on the like track or something. Oh god. I messed up. Oh, I'll restart it.
Reset the puzzle.
Problem is... how on earth are you supposed to get all of them? Is it, like, are we missing pieces, maybe?
Nothing.
You want to close up all the gaps on the spine of the key. Get it all to line. Start by finding the parts that are or vice versa.
Yeah, but with 4? Like, with 4 pieces? Like, that seems really hard. This entire puzzle is gonna be me doing this.
Nothing.
You want to close start by or vice versa.
Nothing.
You want to start by or vice versa.
This is a very tough puzzle. Oh, I'm gonna be spending so much time on this. No, I'm coming back to this.
I'll do this later.
I'm coming back to it. That's hard.
Boxes of stuff.
Oh, that's a tough one. Oh my god. Let's just go back to Felix.
You get a good view of the lake from here.
So, about this paint we found in your room.
Nothing suspicious about it. I used it to paint, obviously. Totally normal thing to do.
We never said it was suspicious.
Come on then, out with it. What exactly are you accusing me of?
It's not your paint pot. Did you take it from somewhere else?
What on earth? It's definitely mine. I even have proof. Look, the lid matches the ones on all my other paint pots. End of discussion.
That's not the end of the discussion.
We need a clue to compare with Felix's red paint. Something to prove who it actually belongs to.
Yes, maybe?
Let's take a closer look at this.
Oh. No, what's the... you can tell from the symbols, that's what it is. But... yeah, but it would be the opposite. Yes?
Freya's red paint pot was stolen and replaced with Felix's red paint pot, and broken by Felix. Almost. Maybe just change one thing.
So let's change one thing.
Freya's red paint pot is exactly the same as Felix's red paint pot.
It's not, though.
And broken by Felix. Nope. Freya's red... Almost. Maybe just...
I wonder.
Freya's red paint pot was stolen and replaced with Felix's red paint pot, but the lids were swapped to hide it.
That red paint is from Freya Supplies, not yours. Swapping the lids doesn't hide what you did.
Why are you bothering me about paint anyway? And none of this is connected to your murder.
Except one of them had blood in it.
This red paint pot
That
was
was an easy
somehow
one.
filled with blood before Freya used it to paint Flora.
Oh, that's definitely something. Right, fine. Here's the story. I was busy working on a project when I suddenly realized I had run out of red paint. There was a certain amount of time pressure, so I politely asked Freya if I could borrow hers. Just for a little while, you know, perfectly reasonable request.
But she said no.
I tried to explain why I needed it, but she didn't seem to care. So, well, I took Freya's red paint pot and swapped it with my own empty one.
You went into her room?
Not my proudest moment, but it's just paint. I didn't touch anything else.
And the paint pot you left behind was definitely empty?
Quite. I have absolutely no idea how it got blood in it, if that's what you're asking.
Why were you in such a hurry to get a hold of red paint anyway?
I was trying to finish this in time for Flora's birthday. I needed red to paint the final details.
Could you not have just used a different color?
Out of the question. It had to be red and white.
If you managed to finish it, why haven't you given it to Flora yet?
Well, I decided against it in the end, after what happened. Seemed a bit, insensitive.
Alright, I'm gonna end it here tonight, everybody. Or today, for now. I think next time I'm gonna try to get this puzzle. I'm gonna put more time into it. Because, wow. That's certainly an interesting puzzle. So next time you're gonna probably either see me trying to complete it or something. I'm just gonna get it done. Until then, everybody. See you next time.